Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Bustin' Chops. I am your host. Oh, I forgot to turn on the lights again. Damn it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bustin' Chops. I'm your host, Tommy Cellini. Today we're going to be making a ramen from the movie Parasite, Oscar winner for Best Picture. Wanted to make this dish. My girlfriend Caitlin, it's one of her favorite dishes. I've been working the past couple weeks in a COVID ICU, and this is the first time she's actually back home, so we're able to actually hang out and wanted to make some sort of comfort food, something that she would enjoy. So let's get started. So to make this dish, we need a couple things. First, we need the ramen. This is ramen, I think, from Korea. This is udon. You can actually buy these packs on Amazon. They're pretty easy to find. People sell them as packs just because the movie's so famous, but it actually helps. Now, these are all in Korean, so I actually have no idea what the directions are or what to do with them. So I don't know if you see right here. I don't know if anyone can actually read that. These are the directions. Figure it's just like any other ramen dish. Boil the noodles, add the stock ingredients, and then the seasoning at the end. But first we're going to start on the steak. Ribeye, that's about 1.5 inches thick. We're going to do it in a brown butter method. I got a stainless steel saute pan with a good chunk of butter that I'm actually going to start on medium-low heat. We're going to create a brown butter out of that. We're going to wait until this butter actually stops sizzling, which is the milk solids and then water make up butter. It's the water part evaporating off, and the milk solids are what browns actually in it. We're just going to go ahead and start off season this with salt and pepper. I don't like to add too many seasons to this. The dish itself actually has a ton of seasoning, and I'll throw in some garlic and rosemary towards the end there. The reason I'm seasoning from up high is nothing to do with looking cool, even though I think it does look cool, is purely just so I can get some distance between the salt granules as it evenly coats. I like to season this pretty liberally just because it's a thick cut of meat, and you actually you're seasoning the entire steak, not just the outside. And so when you take a bite, you're actually getting seasoning on the top, which makes up for this lack of seasoning on the inside. See how it's starting to sizzle? That's just the water evaporating, and what's left is leaving that brown butter stuff on the bottom. So we're just going to wait till the sizzling actually stops, and then we'll add the steak in there. So you see the sizzling has stopped, and see all this brown stuff that's kind of accumulating? That's the milk solids actually like caramelizing effectively. So once that sizzling is actually done, we're actually okay to put the steak in. I'm going to go ahead and drop that guy in here. Giant steak. Let's see, place it. The pan's it's a little heavy of a sizzle that I want, but the colder steak is actually going to chill down the pan a little, so it will calm down. But what we want is just this tiny little bubbling down at the bottom. Now, I'm trying to build a crust on this guy, so I don't want to touch it. And I just want to leave it alone until it's time to flip. I'm going to add probably a sprig or two of rosemary in the butter, and just some garlic cloves. Mostly just some extra flavoring that goes on top, some aromatics that I think help out a little bit. So we're just going to let this simmer out. The time limit, I don't really know, to be honest. You just kind of wait for the crust to form, which is a good 5 to 10 minutes or so as you're watching. I know it's a broad range, but you just kind of have to keep your eye on it. So we have it just sizzling away. A nice little comfort. I'm actually going to turn the heat down just a touch. Try not to overcook this guy. It's a little easier to overcook these when they're thinner. Preferably I'd want a 2-inch cut, or 2-inch thick cut steak, just so it gives it time so where I build a crust that I'm not going to overcook the center. But this one's looking pretty good. I don't know if you can see it's kind of developing underneath here. There's a little brown crust forming. It kind of helps you know when it's time to turn. This side, just to simmer. You get that beautiful crust on the outside. I'm actually going to let them lay this back down, make sure there's plenty of fat under it. There's that crust. Nice crispy crust I have. That's exactly what you want. I'm going to start basting it just with a spoon, but I'm going to let the other side cook through. I'm probably not going to flip it again just to keep that crust on top. Get a big old spoon. Start basting the top. Put that guy on. The idea of the basting, I'm actually going to start the heat to calm down a little bit. It's just almost create an oven effect. You're adding flavor to the top of it, and you're also just creating that hot burning fat on top of the actual steak. Probably need a little more butter. See an ad, never hurt anyone. Now when this gets to about medium rare, I'm going to pull it off and let it rest and start with the rest of the ramdon, the actual boiling of the noodles. I got a pot of water boiling over here. So I'm just feeling it to make sure where we're at temperature-wise. Rare should be about the soft part of your hand when you're roasting, when you're very relaxed. And as you tighten it up, it gets a little more cooked in comparison to the steak. Alright, so the steak is about done. Getting there a little bit, maybe a little under, but I'm going to take it out and just let it rest. We're going to let this sit here. The best thing you can do with a steak is let it rest, just so the juices kind of relax out and get back into the cells themselves so it stays nice and juicy. Pull out all these bad boys. Just lay that over the steak. This is just the old butter and fat. You can use this to saute vegetables in after you're done with it, but I wouldn't keep it for too long. I'm actually going to take this and toss it on some sweet potatoes I cooked yesterday, and that way the sweet potatoes have a nice buttery, garlicky, rosemary flavor to them. You don't want to keep this for too many days. It kind of gets a weird taste to it. It's not like a bacon fat almost. So yeah, I would either use it right now for the vegetables or just kind of get rid of it. All right. Boiling water, probably got a cup or two of water in there. I'm going to open up both these packets. Again, the udon. I think this is the udon. It's the ramen. So we're just going to take the noodles out and actually find the broth packets. It should be this one. I don't even know what that says, but it is the one with the dried vegetable looking stuff. There we go. Perfect. Either kelp or seaweed, I'm not 100% sure. It's like a piece of dried there. These are the seasoning packets for each one, respective one. This is like a black bean paste, or I believe. I'm actually going to toss the oil packet out. There's enough oil in the steak that I don't need. There we go. There's the second seasoning packet. I don't know if you can see in that, if I'm getting in there. Just toss those. You're going to let those chill out for a second, and then we'll drop in the noodles. I've been letting these steep for a couple seconds, so I'm actually going to go ahead and drop in the noodles. So each one may not look like enough water. It's not like pasta or like spaghetti water or something like that, where you need a ton of water. I'm draining off most of this anyway, so I don't really need it. So I'll let that until the noodles actually come to get softened and kind of break up, just like your classic ramen. We use chopsticks to stir it because why not? I am authentic. I'm going to embarrass myself using these, but you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. So the noodles are cooked. I'm actually going to turn off the heat. And I'm going to drain most of this water off. I only need a little bit of it to create the actual sauce that we're going to use for the packets. Add these packets. It's the ramen packet. It's like a seafood ramen kind of thing. If you ask me what ingredients are in here, I have absolutely no idea. Something a little spicy, I think, but other than that. There you go. Add those packets. Stir vigorously until we get this all combined. Creates like a nice sheened, brownish, dark, almost like muddy look to it, but it actually tastes delicious. I don't know if this is just because I'm naive, but it's got a phenomenal flavor. I'm doing this all off the heat as well. Actually did this before with on the heat, and the black bean paste kind of sticks to the bottom of the pan and makes it impossible to clean. So I learned my lesson. There we go. Nice and incorporated. And we're all done. Now just time to slice the steak. So we got the steak here. We're just going to slice it up before we plate. Just use my hands. This is a moment of truth. There we go. Touch over. It's more like medium. Like I said, it's a little hard to get the crust with this, with the actual pan seared brown butter method. It's a little easier with a thicker cut of steak, but that's all right. I actually don't mind it. I don't hate on medium, that's for sure. There we go. Nice steak. Nice little cut of steak with a brown butter crust on it. So we're just gonna plate this up. Take about half of this. Or the whole thing. There we go. Put all that there. As you can tell, I'm an expert plater. No big deal. Okay, yeah, that's enough of that. Take a couple pieces of steak. These center cut ones. I just like to lay them on top. Like so. There we go. Nice little garnish. Some green onions. Or, there you go. Little tops of green onions. There you go. There you have it. Rondon from the movie Parasite. It's delicious.